The letter came on a Tuesday, slipped under my apartment door like a whisper from the past. Rain tapped the window, soft and steady, as I picked it up. My name, written in his careful handwriting, stared back at me. 20 years had passed since I last saw him, since I walked out, heartbroken, thinking he'd chosen silence over us. I opened it slowly, hands trembling, and read the first line. I never stopped loving you, Claire. My breath caught. The secret he kept, the one that tore us apart, was finally on the page. I sat on the floor, the letter in my lap, tears falling quietly. I forgave him that night, but he'd never know why. Pause for reflection. Gentle piano fades in, mournful and slow. Imagery, rain-streaked window, a single envelope on a wooden floor, dim lamplight. My name is Claire, and I grew up in a small town where the river ran slow and the summers smelled of honeysuckle. Our house was modest, with a wraparound porch and a swing that creaked in the breeze. Mom raised me alone after Dad died when I was 5, a heart attack, sudden and cruel. She worked as a librarian, her glasses perched on her nose, always smelling of old books and lavender. We were close, sharing dinners of chicken soup and stories about her childhood. I met Daniel when I was 19, at the diner where I waitressed after high school. He was 21, tall with kind eyes, fixing tractors at his dad's shop. He'd come in for coffee, lingering to talk about the stars or his dreams of owning land. You've got a spark, Claire, he'd say, smiling shyly. I'd blush, my heart fluttering like the napkins I folded. We fell in love fast. Picnics by the river, his hand in mine, planning a future. He proposed a year later, under the oak tree in his parents' yard, a simple ring in his pocket. Will you marry me? He asked, voice steady. I said yes, tears in my eyes, the world feeling perfect. We married in the town church, wildflowers in my hair, Mom crying in the front pew. Our first home was a tiny rental, paint peeling but ours. Daniel worked long hours. I took night classes for nursing. We'd eat spaghetti on the floor, laughing over nothing, dreaming of kids and a farmhouse. Life was simple but full. Weekends, we'd visit his parents, his mom, Ruth, baking pies, his dad, Tom, telling stories of the war. They welcomed me like family, Ruth teaching me to knit, Tom showing me the tractor. Daniel's love was my anchor, his hugs warm after tough days. Our first year was magic. We'd dance in the kitchen to the radio, save pennies for a couch, talk about names for babies we'd have someday. I felt safe, like nothing could break us. The first cracks came slowly, like frost on a window. Daniel started working later, coming home with grease on his hands and a quiet in his eyes. Long day, he'd say, kissing my forehead. I'd nod, but worry crept in. He'd stare out the window sometimes, lost in thought, brushing off my questions with, "Just tired, Claire." I was in nursing school, exhausted from classes and shifts. We'd plan dinners, but he'd cancel. "Shop's busy," he'd text. I'd eat alone, the table too big for one. I'd ask, "Everything okay?" And he'd smile, say, "Fine, love." But his smile didn't reach his eyes. One night, he didn't come home until dawn. I waited, pacing, heart racing. When he walked in, smelling of oil, he hugged me tight. "Sorry, got caught up," he said. I wanted to believe him, but doubt settled in my chest. His parents noticed too. At Sunday dinner, Ruth asked, "You all right, Danny?" He nodded, piling mashed potatoes on his plate. I watched him, searching for answers, but he avoided my gaze. I tried talking, gently. Over coffee one morning, the kitchen warm with toast smells, I said, "You seem far away, Daniel. Talk to me." He paused, cup in hand. "It's nothing, Claire. Just work." His voice was soft, but it closed the door. Small lies piled up. He'd say he was at the shop, but I'd drive by, see it dark. I'd find receipts, gas stations far away, diner tabs for two. My heart sank, but I pushed it down, telling myself I was imagining things. Our fights were quiet, never loud. I'd ask, "Where were you?" and he'd sigh, "Don't start, Claire." I'd cry in the shower, the water hiding my tears. I loved him too much to accuse, but trust was slipping. Friends saw it. My best friend Ellen said over tea, "He's hiding something." I shook my head, defended him. "He's just stressed." But her words lingered, like a shadow. One spring, I found a letter in his jacket, addressed to a woman, and signed, tucked in a pocket. My hands shook as I read it. "I miss you." No name, no details. I confronted him that night, letter in hand. "Who is she?" I asked, voice trembling. He looked shocked, then sad. "It's nothing, Claire. An old friend." I wanted to believe him, but the hurt grew. The truth came on a rainy night, 20 years ago. I was 25, pregnant with our first child, though I hadn't told him yet. I'd been feeling off, tired, queasy, and the test confirmed it that morning. I was scared but excited, planning to tell him over dinner. He came home late again, face drawn. I'd made his favorite, roast chicken, potatoes, but he barely ate. "What's wrong?" I asked, reaching for his hand. He pulled away, eyes on the floor. "Claire, I need to tell you something," he said, voice breaking. My heart stopped. I thought of the letter, the late nights. "What is it?" I whispered. He took a breath, then said, "I have a son. From before we met. He's 4. The room spun. "A son. Another family. Her name's Sarah," he continued. "We were young," it ended, "but she reached out. He's sick, needs help." I couldn't breathe. "Why didn't you tell me?" I asked, tears falling. He looked away. I was ashamed. "Didn't want to lose you." His words were honest, but they broke me. All those nights, the lies. It was for a child he'd kept secret. I stood, hands on my belly, protecting the life inside. "You chose to hide this," I said, voice steady despite the pain. "I can't stay." He begged. "Please, Claire, I love you." But I saw the years ahead. Secrets, distrust, a family I didn't know. I packed a bag, left that night, the rain soaking my coat. I drove to Mom's, sobbing in her arms. She didn't ask questions, just held me. I didn't tell Daniel about the baby. The hurt was too raw. I lost the baby a month later. Stress, the doctor said. I didn't tell Daniel, didn't tell anyone but Mom. The grief was mine, silent and heavy. I moved to a city 2 hours away, started over as a nurse. Days blurred, patients, charts, smiles I didn't feel. Daniel called, wrote, begged to explain. I ignored him, the pain too fresh. He sent letters, but I returned them, unopened. I built a life, friends, a small apartment, a routine that kept me moving. But at night, I'd think of him, of what we lost. Years passed. I dated, but nothing lasted. The secret had scarred me, made trust hard. Mom urged me to forgive, over tea in her kitchen. "He's suffering too," she said. I'd nod, but couldn't. Then the letter came, 20 years later. I was 45, still nursing, still alone. His words poured out. His son, now grown, had passed from his illness. Sarah had moved away. Daniel had carried the guilt, never stopped loving me. "I was wrong to hide it," he wrote. "I'd give anything to see you." I sat with it, the rain outside mirroring that night. I thought of our love, the good years, the pain. I forgave him, not for him, but for me. I didn't write back, didn't call. Some things stay unspoken. I visited our old town sometimes, drove by the oak tree. I'd smile, remembering his proposal. Life moved on, softer now. I found peace in small things. Patience, gratitude, sunsets, Mom's laughter. Forgiving Daniel freed me. I let go of the hurt, not to fix the past, but to live in the present. We never spoke again, but I carry the love we had, the lessons it taught. Love is messy, sometimes broken by secrets. But it's also resilient, stretching across years and pain. I found my way, not with him, but with peace. Hold tight to truth, forgive when you can, and let love guide you home.